What's up, guys? So here are my picks for UFC on ESPN, Lewis versus Oleinik. I didn't make a video for last week's event. I didn't even watch the event. Honestly, with all the changes, with all the last minute changes and all the dropouts and everything, I just went out with my friends. I haven't done it in a while, so I hope everyone drops some money on Derek Brunson because he surely upset, but yeah. I didn't watch it, so I have a lot of catching up to do as far as because I don't know how the fight went, So Oleinik versus Lewis. Man, this fight reminds me gives me bad memories of when I picked Werdum versus Gustafsson, because it's the same thing. There is a pattern. Both of them has their pattern to win in this fight. Oleinik is by submission, and Oleinik is only by submission, while Lewis, I think he can pull the knockout and or a decision. And the reason why this is reminding me a lot of Werdum and Gustafsson is because Oleinik's last opponent was Werdum. And that is the one fight that I keep talking about so many times about how Werdum just looked like absolute crap. So yeah, but obviously, I mean, if you haven't watched it, you should go check it out, and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as Werdum looking like shit. So yeah, I mean, I'm picking Derek Lewis to win by brutal knockout round one. The way I see this fight going is the same way Curtis Blades did it, the same way Overeem did it, Walt Harris, because Oleinik is one of those guys where he's an excellent submission artist. If he gets a hold of you, if you get a hold of a neck, you're done. But the one thing that he does not have to complement it is the takedown ability. So, and once again, we're in a situation where the game plan should be very obvious. When I talked about Werdum versus Gustafsson, I talked about how if Werdum was going to win, it was going to be a submission in the first round, and I feel like that is almost Oleinik's path of victory for this fight as well, submission on the first round. And the game plan should be more than obvious. Derek Lewis and his team should be very aware of this. There's no way Oleinik is going to go and swing wildly like he did against Werdum, which is something to point out. If you watch his fight with Werdum, his last fight, that striking was just like wild, loopy haymakers. I mean, I was talking about Robert Whittaker being like that, but for a lot of the fight, but for Oleinik really truly is like that. And he lacks a bit of power. At least he landed many clean shots on Werdum, and Werdum never went down. I don't see him doing that same strategy versus Derek Lewis, because if Derek Lewis connects with one clean shot, you're done for, and which is what I think is going to happen. So what are the chances that two huge underdogs upset like this? If Oleinik wins by submission round one, I can't say that I would be mind blown, but because that is his path of victory. And the thing that scares me about Lewis is that he likes to throw head kicks, and he throws really fast jumping switch kicks for a guy that has the physique that he has. And Joe Rogan has made a comment about it many times. But no, see, for this fight, Derek Lewis should not do anything like that. Why? I mean, how stupid do you have to be to give Oleinik the opportunity to catch a kick and take you down and submit you, And that's the thing. And what I was talking, if you watch Lewis's fight with Ilir Latifi, 90% of that fight was Latifi holding on to Lewis against the cage. He was able to take him down twice, but most of them he wasn't able to. And while I think Oleinik has better submission, I think Latifi has the better takedowns, and I just don't see Oleinik being able to take Lewis down. So I'm picking Lewis knockout round one. punches. Oleinik, this guy's like 43, 44 years old. I mean, he's this slow walking submission machine, but the stand should not be any problem for Derek Lewis. And but like I said, he has to avoid the takedown. He has to be ready. And another thing to point out is Derek Lewis has trained to fight Daniel Cormier. He's trained to fight Ilir Latifi. If you're gonna fight Daniel Cormier, I am convinced that for that fight, his takedown defense was all they drilled about. So he has to have, good. He has to have had a lot of takedown defense, and I think it's gonna come handy on this fight. So I'm picking Lewis, knockout round 1. He keeps it standing and finishes Oleinik. But if Oleinik goes there and submits in round 1, I'm not gonna be mind blown about it. I sure wasn't when Werdum did it. So to Gustafsson. Then the second fight is Chris Weidman versus Omari Akhmedov. So I have Weidman by submission round 3. If you look at Chris Weidman's last 4 or 5 losses, so right, he got destroyed by Dominic Reyes, Sousa, Musasi, Rocco, Romero. The one thing that all those guys have, maybe not too much the one with Jacare, but Dominic Reyes, Musasi, Romero, Rocco, those guys are knockout artists. Those guys are explosive, powerful, well-rounded knockout artists. And it's not like although the one with Reyes, Chris Weidman has no business as a light heavyweight. He has no business calling out champions ever again in any division. But he should have never fought Reyes. But even the one with Romero and the one with Rocco, which he lost both of them, it's not like he was getting and even the one with Jacare, it's not like he was getting steamrolled all throughout the fight and then got finished. The fight was actually very competitive. All those 3 fights were competitive up until he got finished. The one with Sousa, I had it 1-1 going into the third, and I think the third was pretty even. Then they started just trading punches. He got knocked out. The one with Rocco was also competitive until he threw that spinning back kick, and then Rocco took him down and beat the crap out of him. The one with Romero was also competitive until that flying knee. And like I said, these guys are knockout, explosive, powerful knockout artists. Omari Akhmedov, he's not that. He's a decision maker. He reminds me of I can't remember the guy that just fought a couple weeks ago. Just a decision maker, guy from Russia. And the thing is, where he's good at, which is his grappling, I think Weidman is way better. Way better. Not only do I think he's better, but the size. Weidman is taller and has a 5-inch reach advantage. So Weidman I think he's better, the better grappler, the bigger guy, and the experience. If you compare the experience between these two guys, Omari Akhmedov's best win is Hainish or maybe Tim Bosch. Nothing compared to the monsters that Weidman has fought. And like I said, he's a decision maker. Weidman doesn't lose to these decision makers. He loses to guys that can knock you out in a punch. And Omari Akhmedov, he's not one of those guys. So I actually have Weidman by submission round 3. I think he will be. I think he can take. I think he can out-grapple Akhmedov if he so chooses to. And I think eventually he'll wear him out and submit him round 3. The only thing that concerns me about Weidman is just his chin has been cracked so many times. Reyes, Sousa, Musasi, Romero, Rocco. So 5 times in less than 5 years. So you gotta wonder, how broken his chin is at this point. I mean, is it so fucked up that it's only gonna take one punch from Akhmedov to knock him out? So I definitely give Akhmedov a puncher's chin, not because I think he's a knockout artist, but because I question Weidman's chin at this point. Once guys get to that point, you just get knocked out easy. So I'm hoping Weidman is not at that point, that he's gonna get knocked out by a decision maker like Akhmedov, but I got Weidman by submission. And then let's see real quick. And then Darren Stewart versus Maki Pitolo. I have Darren Stewart by decision. I think he's gonna make it a boring grinding fight. That's the way I see this fight playing out. There's no way he's gonna choose to go out there and trade punches with Maki Pitolo, because Pitolo has really good boxing, really good hands, and so why play the guy's game? I think Darren Stewart is stronger, way stronger. He is bigger, and I think he can do a fight kind of like the one what Ilir Latifi was trying to do to Derek Lewis, where he just holds him against the cage, does not give him the distance to strike and trade punches, and pulls a boring decision where he's just gonna push him against the cage, possibly take him down, hold him down for a little bit. Pitolo gets back up. Pitolo last fight, he was taken down a few times by Charles Bird. He also took him down, but like I said, I think the strength and the size is going to be the deciding factors on this fight. So Stewart by decision. Then Beneil Dariush versus Scott Holtzman. I have Dariush by submission, round 2. If you watch, I just think he's superior than Holtzman in every aspect of MMA. Every aspect. If you watch his last fight versus, if you watch his 3 last fight, all of them by decision, and then the one with Drakkar close, like, he just dominated him from the get-go. It kind of seemed like he had burned his energy a little bit, but I heard that he had just got married, so who knows how much he was in that, how much that affected him as far as his shape and his cardio, because he was tired by the end of round 1. Scott Holtzman will give him a puncher's chance again, also not because he's a knockout artist, but because Dariush has been dropped by punches in the past by Hernandez and Barbosa's Leptin, but those were brutal knockouts, so you have to wonder how, the chin never recovers. But I just think Dariush wears him out grapples him all round 1. Holtzman survives, but then round 2, just repeat, eventually takes him down and finishes him. Then Kevin Holland versus Joaquin Buckley. I have Holland also by submission, round 2. Running out of time here. I saw Joaquin's Buckley's last fight. This guy's a boxer. I would call him a kickboxer, but it's like 90% boxing, 10% kicks. The size difference between Holland and Buckley is just huge. The experience, everything's on Holland's size. We're talking about like 8 inches reach advantage for Holland versus a very one-dimensional guy, very one-dimensional Buckley. So Holland by submission, round 2. And then the last one that I have, it's Wellington Turman versus Andrew Sanchez. Andrew Sanchez got used as a punching bag on his last fight versus Vettori. I think Wellington Turman just takes him to a decision, works him into a decision. So, I'm sorry, I ran out of time here. Lewis by knockout, round 1. Weidman by submission, round 3. Stewart by decision. Dariush by submission, round 2. Kevin Holland by submission, round 2. And Wellington Turman by decision. All right, guys, have a good one.